Y'all ready to get into these Cajun peaches? I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into it. First off, doesn't Cajun peaches sound like a delicious fried dessert? Like, I just wish I had a big old styrofoam container of some Cajun peaches with a whipped cream dipping sauce right now, but it's okay. I'm salivating because I haven't eaten lunch yet, but that is my burden in life right now. It has nothing to do with y'all. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm gonna eat after this damn video. Anywho, Drew's taking the girls down to New Orleans for a working trip, which I think is amazing. Listen, Drew is capitalizing on this Housewives platform. I've said so many times in prior videos, the Housewives is a platform. If you do not come off of this show with a level up in life, an increase in your career, or just your life in general, you have failed the platform. So Drew is showing us that she is about to be booked and busy, which is good, because I think that just with her getting her name out more on this platform and people seeing it in the entertainment industry as well, they'll associate her name with a working actress and stuff in this field, and it'll allow, more jobs to come down the pipeline. So good for Drew. But Drew decided to take this opportunity to turn this into a real girls trip, which was immediate shade to Kenya. But, Kenya had, more shade for her ass later, which we saw. Wasn't it funny, though, how, Drew extended the invitation to the ladies and said that, this is a real girls trip, and you can bring your children if you want to. She extended the invitation, but only Kenya was the one who showed up with her child. So I thought that was hilarious, because it just shows like y'all rode Kenya to the damn 8th ring of hell about like not extending the same courtesies to y'all on this trip and stuff, and then you go right ahead and just don't even bring your children anyway. So in a way, it kind of proves Kenya's point of why she didn't even offer in the first place. But like Portia said, it's just better off if you just had invited them in the first place and let them know that that was something that they could do versus not offering it at all. So even if they didn't go for it, at least they would have had the benefit of the invitation. Kenya doesn't booty bounce. I rolled my eyes so hard at this damn part, y'all. Like, out of all of the things that you have done on this show, Kenya, I don't know how a booty bounce on a street in New Orleans is this sudden, cliff you want to die on in terms of I'm not going to degrade myself. From all the men you have chased on this show, okay, to when you had your legs open up to the sky at the damn bachelorette party as, your alter ego Chocolate. I'm like, a booty bounce in the middle of a street in New Orleans with your friends is where you going to die on this mountain? Girl, bye. That literally was just because you don't want to feature Drew, and that was evident in it, right? So it's okay. Listen, I'm glad that you just swiftly exited stage right with your daughter. And another thing, it doesn't even matter that your daughter was there. Brooklyn don't even know what you're doing, and she just think you having fun with your friends or whatever. So I didn't understand that part at all. But like I said, I'm glad that you exited stage right, went straight inside to your new best friend who was the concierge, and he helped you upgrade your room. So listen, it didn't become that big of a deal because you quickly made shade about it and then exited stage right to get a better room. So I don't have a problem with you upgrading your room. I just have a problem with you associating the whole booty bouncing. Hell, this is Atlanta. That's what y'all do. So I don't even understand how booty bouncing is suddenly degrading yourself. But like I said, it's a reach because you don't really like Drew. Skipping ahead, the girls go do a sit-down dinner, which you already know was, room for bad things to happen. And LaToya is not drinking. She has an altercation with Drew. This is where I sort of have to be on LaToya's side, right? Because what ends up happening is they do a quick, actually no, at the table what happens is that Drew tells the ladies that she thinks that LaToya is not drinking because of a private conversation that she had with LaToya on the night of the niece's party. So apparently, LaToya got pretty drunk after the niece's party. She went home with Drew, or Drew gave her a ride home in her car with her, and her driver at the time, which happened to be a friend and someone that was associated with the church, had a heart-to-heart with LaToya, just telling her about the mercies and the power of the Lord. Hallelujah. Ikoroboshata. And she basically started crying in there, talking about how she needs to get her life together, and how her drinking is out of control, and this, that, and the third. My problem with the whole situation is that, Drew, you made such a good point in a prior episode about telling LaToya not to expose Kenya's business. That whole situation that no one else knew about in the group, in terms of you, LaToya, and your pastor friend, or your pastor associate or whatever in the car, nobody knew about it, so nobody needed to be any of the wiser. So the fact that you exposed this girl's business at the damn table means that you're wrong, and there's no way around that. There's no way around that. If you're going to call somebody else out for, exposing someone else's business, you have to be on a higher level and, not expose someone's business in the same way. So I totally understood where LaToya was coming from, and I just found it funny how Kenya was the one who, when they exited the restaurant, told her, you need to be careful who you tell your business to. Ain't that funny? I swear, turnabout is always a fair game, and that's why I always believe in karma, because it always comes back around. Is LaToya an alcoholic? I don't think that LaToya is an alcoholic. First off, we don't even know much about her as the viewer through the screen to even call that upon her. And I think sometimes on these shows, alcoholic is sometimes thrown around as a buzzer word, or just a word to just create a lot of struggles and strifes and call something down upon somebody, which is just like unnecessary. We don't even know enough about LaToya to even call this down over her, right? So I think we need to be very, very careful with that, because an alcoholic, that's a very serious term and a very serious allegation to put on someone, right? Just because, she's very flippant at the mouth, she, turns up in social situations in a way that we don't understand as common, reasonable people, doesn't necessarily mean that, it's because she's an alcoholic. It could just be that the alcohol is exacerbating her behavior, which just causes her to make even worse decisions. So I think you can treat the symptoms without necessarily labeling that as the cause. I think that LaToya has a lot of things going on in her life where, it's from her issues that she's having with her husband and the dissolution of that whole situation, as well as trying to find her place in this group, and just figuring out what team that she's on. That could cause a lot of struggles and strife in your life, and that's probably why she's acting out, which I've said before. But I don't think she's an alcoholic, and I think it's very unfair to categorize her as that. So LaToya, I'm coming up. I'm going up for you today. Kandi can't dance. This is funny because I feel like every season or every other season, there's always some little, little tidbit or little video or little thing that Kandi's doing where she has to dance, and then we soon realize that, dancing ain't Kandi's forte, and that's okay. Listen, Kandi was blessed with enough gifts in life, okay? Kandi has enough money, honey, that if she really wanted to dance, all she would have to do is hire 5 people, or 4 rather, to take each one of her limbs and, move her like a marionette and have her pop locking and dropping like Janet back in '88, honey. So, Kandi, you don't need to dance, but it's just always funny to see it. That you can't dance when you're the dungeon lady, you're the mistress, you're the mistress at the dungeon. I ain't trying to start no damn rumor, Lord Jesus. You're the mistress of the dungeon parties. Let's clear that up right there. And then your whole sex toy line and stuff, but I guess we can't really equate freakiness with ability to move your limbs in a dance fashion. I don't know. It's just funny. Kandi, hire them damn people and have them move your body like a marionette and, clap your booty cheeks together, and we'll move on to the next. Portia cries over Marlo, and then she confronts Marlo later on. So I thought it was a very powerful scene where Portia was crying over Marlo, because, when you're drinking and all your emotions are coming to the surface, and basically what you're saying and your being aren't in alignment. And so what I mean by that is Portia was saying out of her mouth that, she doesn't care about the Marlo situation. She just misjudged her. It's, it's whatever. She's over it. She's behind it. But she started crying. She started getting emotional. And then we soon came to realize how much it was actually affecting her, right? And so the issue on the Portia side is that Portia feels that, first off, that Kenya getting back with Marlo is disingenuous, which I feel like to a certain extent it is. But also, if you have a problem with the girl for years and years and years, there's no problem in patching it up and moving on and becoming just cordial in social situations. However, to Portia's point, the timing of it is a bit suspicious, which I do agree with. And from Marlo's side, Marlo feels that the minute that she made up with Kenya, all the girls that she historically was just fine with now seem to have a problem with her, right? which, you know, they probably will. Some of it is in Marlo's head because she probably feels guilty to a certain extent about, you know, her new friendship with Kenya and trying to go up for Kenya in some situations. But I think that a lot of it is valid in terms of how Portia feels about the situation, and also Marlo, how she feels about, you know, being a sort of outcast, because there was a lot of tension in the group about it. So after the girls go for that New Orleans twerk and line dance, and I forget the name, Coca Chew, I think that's a cookie. No, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what the damn dance was called. I forgot. I thought it started with a K. Portia then confronts Marlo down to the damn dance studio, and what was very interesting, though, is that Marlo asked Portia point blank, you know, did you sleep with the stripper? Because this is the narrative that Kenya is moving in these streets with. So if you can confirm or deny it, then I'll know how to move in my relationship with Kenya, which I felt was a very fair point. And Portia says categorically, I, you know, deny it. Nothing happened. She's lying, this, that, and the third. Do I believe it? No. But this is not the cliff that I'm going to die on, right? So if your good friend who you're friends with says that she didn't do something, then as her friend, you need to go up for her. And so that's what Marlo said in that situation. She said, okay, you know, I'm deading this issue. If she brings it up, I'm basically saying that, you know, I'm riding with you and it didn't happen and this, that, and the third, and it's over. And so I just feel like there's definite hurt on both sides. What I thought was a very interesting point was when Marlo brought up how and this had completely just escaped my mind, when Kenya and Portia tried their, you know, short-lived attempt at friendship, you know, bonding over the babies and just trying to get over their issues. Well, apparently Marlo felt that she was left out on the side in the same manner that, you know, Portia felt now that Marlo's with Kenya. So I hope that all made sense and I got all the names right there. But hell, just like I said before, turnabout is a fair game, and, you know, karma comes around, right? So whereas Marlo felt back in the day when Portia and Kenya were trying to be friends, she felt like she was on the outside. Now Portia's feeling on the outside that Marlo and Kenya are getting back together. So I think that it's very hard to be in the middle of a situation where two people that you like don't like each other. So it's a very, very delicate place to be. And I can't say that I've been in that situation where two people that I know don't like each other, but I put somebody, one of my best friends, in that situation where we had a friend group and I stopped talking to the other people, or they stopped talking to me. Listen, it's been so long at this point. We stopped talking to each other, okay? But she was in the middle and she's friends with both of them. So she just does this thing where, you know, she doesn't tell me about them, and, you know, she doesn't tell me about them, and she doesn't tell them about me. So I think that that's easy to do when you guys aren't coming into contact, which is the situation that I'm in. But when you are on this show and you're constantly forced to film with each other, it does create a little bit of tension. So I think that there's a way that Marlo can be a good friend to Kenya and can also be a good friend to Portia without making either of them feel alienated or like they're on the outside of stuff. So like I said, there's hurt on both sides. I hope y'all can get it together and find some way forward. But I did like how y'all had a conversation to talk it out and at least start the work of what that's going to mean and how this friendship can move forward. Which means, in fact, that you guys really do care for each other, because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. If you ever get to the point where you're indifferent on someone, it means that you literally do not care, right? But if you hate someone or you have some sort of emotion towards them, it means that there is some level of care still there within you. So I'm glad that they found out that, you know, they both care about each other and they're moving forward to try to figure out how it goes. I'm game to see what happens next on this New Orleans trip, and, you know, I'll be there next week to report back to you guys on what happened. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Stereo at DadDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, don't be telling your business to people and then being surprised when it gets pulled up in public. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.